Today we continue our journey through 1 Samuel chapters 19 to 21. I will read key passages and I encourage you to read the full chapters on your own. The full reading reference is provided for you below. Chapter 19 opens with Saul becoming even more determined to kill David. After twice failing to kill him himself, Saul ordered his son Jonathan and all his servants to put David to death. Jonathan, however, loved David. He warned him of Saul's plans and spoke on David's behalf. For a time, Saul agreed not to kill him. Soon afterward, war broke out again, and David defeated the Philistines. Then in verses 9 to 10, an evil spirit permitted by the Lord came upon Saul once again. As David played the harp, Saul hurled his spear at him, trying to pin him to the wall. David escaped, and Saul's attempt yet failed again. That night, Saul sent men to watch David's house so they could kill him in the morning. But Michal, David's wife, and Saul's daughter helped David escape by luring him through a window. She placed an idol in the bed to delay Saul's messengers. David fled to Samuel at Ramah, where they went to Nile. When Saul repeatedly sent men to capture David, the Spirit of God came upon them, and they began prophesying instead. Finally, Saul went himself, and the Spirit of God came upon him as well. He also prophesied and lay stripped of his royal garments before the Lord that day and night. Even in Saul's rebellion, y'all, God demonstrated that no one could overthrow his purposes. Chapter 20 enters on David and Jonathan's covenant friendship. David questioned why Saul wanted him dead, but Jonathan initially struggled to believe his father would do such a thing. David proposed a plan involving the New Moon Festival. The New Moon Festival marked the beginning of a new month on Israel's calendar. It included sacrifices and a covenant meal where members of the king's court were expected to be present. David's absence would reveal Saul's true intentions. Jonathan agreed to test his father by using arrows as a signal. If he told the servant the arrows were beyond him, David would know he must flee because Saul intended to kill him. When David's place at the table was empty, Saul became furious. He insulted Jonathan and even threw his spear at his own son. Jonathan now knew David had spoken the truth. The next morning, he gave David the agreed signal. The two friends met one final time. They wept together and renewed their covenant, saying, "The Lord is witness between you and me, and between your descendants and my descendants forever." Chapter 21 begins David's life as a fugitive. David came to Nob, where Amalek, the priest, met him with fear because he arrived alone. David requested food, but only bread was available. The bread of the presence, the holy bread that had been removed from before the Lord and replaced with fresh bread according to the law. Ahimelech gave it to David because the young men had kept themselves ceremonially clean. That day, one man witnessed everything. His name was Doeg, the Edomite, Saul's chief shepherd. His presence would have tragic consequences in the next chapter. David also requested a weapon. The only sword available was Goliath's sword, which had been kept behind the ephod. David replied, "There is none like it. Give it to me." Still fleeing, David went to Achish, king of Gath. When Achish's servants recognized him as the famous warrior of Israel, David became afraid. To save his life, he pretended to be insane, scratching on the doors of the gate and letting saliva run down his beard. Achish believed David was mad and refused to keep him. The Lord again preserved David, not because of David's cleverness alone, but because God's plan for his anointed king could not be stopped. Now, what do these chapters teach and show us? God's plans cannot be overturned by human opposition. God often uses faithful friends to provide protection and encouragement. Jealousy, y'all, hardens the heart and leads to greater sin. The Lord preserves those he calls according to his purpose. God's faithfulness continues even when circumstances seem hopeless. Now, let's connect all of this across scripture. Jonathan's covenant loyalty reflects Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times. The bread of the presence is later referenced by Jesus in Matthew 12:3-4, as he teaches about mercy over ritual. David's preservation reminds us of Psalm 18:2. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. Now, I'm encouraging you to read 1 Samuel chapters 19-21 in full. Watch Saul's hatred grow. Watch Jonathan's faithful friendship. Watch the Lord preserve David again and again. This story continues tomorrow.